What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to everybody out there. Monday at 5 o'clock. So Monday is actually over, fresh like most of us. Um, yeah, glad to be here. Glad that Twitter is back to working now. Um, yes, we can all be here and have this show and actually have people in actually here. Um, yeah, glad to have all actually all actually three of us here today. Start out with our man spread. What is up, man?
Still taking the Justin Fields news. I was really rooting for him in Pittsburgh. I really was. Now he's been traded to the Jets, and I just
That was real?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. Shoot.
it's exactly how I feel about it. It's I just because I remember that last game that they had against the Chiefs, and I feel like if anyone else outside of Russell Wilson would have been the quarterback, it would have been a fighting chance. But game managers are so easy to plan against later in the season into the playoffs. There's so much footage on how to limit Russell Wilson. Many defenses could have got it. But if you would have had Justin Field, you would have had his legs as an X factor. He would have just had to make some key throws, and it would have been a completely different game. But instead, I had to watch the Steelers get stomped out for riding with Russell Wilson.
Nah. Hold on now. That's still my squad. Them still my boys. And it
I'm
was
just disappointed in that decision.
that because had he started, we would have had to give up an extra pick, right? And then we wouldn't have been able to get like some kind of way. It probably would have went into not getting DJ Metcalf this year.
True.
Like you don't just go out and just drop 150 million. So I feel like with DJ Metcalf and we got to keep the pick that we didn't give up for letting go of Justin Fields, I'm cool with that. The Steelers usually make good roster decisions. Hopefully we can get Trevor Lawrence and just go straight to the Super Bowl. But there's that.
Right. If you all get Sunshine, I've been watching Sunshine since Clemson. Like that is a great quarterback. He just has to get away from the Jaguars.
Yeah. We need a good offensive line too. So
But after all that, go over here to my main man Joe. How are you doing today?
man, I am doing great, brother. I slapped a couple very nice parlays this weekend.
She did.
So I dropped one. I dropped two parlays in the Discord recently. The one I really thought was going to hit didn't, but the smaller one with a much bigger payout, it ended up hitting. So I still came out over 50 units ahead, I guess. Simple math. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling real good.
About to say, yeah. I got note this weekend. You definitely had a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, today's a big slate. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. Chat, if there's any certain games that you would like us to go over, um, definitely drop them in the chat. And actually, we like will. Let's see here before we start out. Bill, what is up, man?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, shout out Bill Norman. Um, he he actually is our actually like UFC guy. And actually, he once again this actually weekend won again.
That's Drago's real name?
Yep.
Oh man, I owe this dude so much.
So yes, definitely actually shout out you, Bill. It seems like no matter what, you
Yeah.
seem to find like even when it doesn't seem like it's going to, you find a way to grind it out and still come out ahead. So definitely props to you. Guys, where do y'all want to start? I guess let's start with this Lakers game. Um, Lakers at the Nets, lined opened at Lakers -5. Total the total at 218.5. The side has pretty much stayed the same here, and the total has actually dropped a couple points now. This is one where as soon as I saw the line, I was like, "Oh man, I don't even want to really look into this. This one just seems off." And we know that. Who do we know is sitting tonight?
LeBron.
LeBron. Do we know of anybody else? I think
Rui.
Game Time. Rui's out, and then Luka's a game time. For me, that's just right there is already a stay off. Or wait and see if Luka plays. And if Luka does play, then actually for me that would be a small play on the Lakers first half. But besides that, I want nothing to do with it, so I'm going to hand it off over to spread first.
Honestly, I really like the first half. Like I do feel like there's a big blowout potential. So trusting the full game spread is out of the question. I like two plays actually. I like the first half and I really like the Jazz team total just because this just seems like one of those moments where the Jazz can score 108 points. This is just one of those.
We're going to that one. We're going to that one in just a second. We're on the Lakers and the Nets here.
Oh, never mind. Well, I just like the 112 first half total for the Lakers.
Oh, team total? That's the route. Mm-hmm. So I'll go ahead and be the lone wolf in the room there. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Lakers on the first half money line. Or lay a point or whatever you gotta lay. Reason being, the Lakers have been rolling since the trade deadline. The first half, they come out real fired up. They're giving effort, which is something Brooklyn doesn't do. Brooklyn is more of those, yes, you got the D'Angelo Russell revenge factor, right? But the Lakers are a very good team. Like, even without LeBron, I like them a little bit more just because this is Luka get right spot because he got embarrassed against the Celtics in the finals and he got embarrassed last week when he played. Didn't matter who. Everybody guarded Luka and they were ripping this dude apart. Everybody targeted Luka and they scored on him again. So, like, the Celtics are just, they live rent-free in Luka's head. And what better game to have a get-right spot than the Brooklyn Nets, who they don't believe in defense for real. So, yeah. We also can't forget, last year, without LeBron and AD, the Lakers beat the Celtics on the money line. And they were like 15-point dogs. So, like, this Laker team has some depth, but it's like a bunch of guys that you don't really give credit to. Like Gabe Vincent only scores like 5 points. But we saw what he did in Miami. The boy can ball. Like he just hadn't had to, right? So that's one. Jared Vanderbilt, very solid defender. Very solid defender. And then you look at Brooklyn, Cam Thomas is out. So it's like, yo, we can put Vanderbilt on Cameron Johnson now, and we can limit their offense all the way. They're playing great rotational defense, and they're giving effort in the first half. So for me, even without LeBron, I'm cool with it. Lakers on the first half. Lay what you got to lay.
All right. And it looks like that current number, it looks like the best you can get is a -3 currently. It looks like it's a 3.5. It looks like it's a 3.5 at some books. But yes, we can get you a -3 there. All right, fellas. Yeah, let's go ahead and shoot to that other game. Let's go ahead and go to the Jazz and the Celtics. Line opened up at Celtics -17. Total of 227.5. Spread has gone down a half point. That's as far as the spread goes. That's still a big ass spread. Then the total has actually gone up. Looks like 3 points up to 230, which that to me makes sense. As we've talked in the past with Jazz games, I'm trying to, if I bet them in any way, I'm trying to bet the over in actually some type of way, whether that be the full game or either actually like the other team's actually team total or, some way here. And with this one, the way I'm kind of looking at it is playing the Celtics first half team total over. That's at 61.5. They like to come out hot. And they're actually at like home here, which is where they really come out hot. Their last 3 games in the first half, they're averaging just under 63 points. and those defenses were definitely better than actually what they're going to face here. So for me, I'm going to hear what y'all have to say. I've not bet this yet, but I am very close on it. I just want to hear what y'all have to say. But I'm definitely very close on the Celtics team total over. And I know Spread definitely had something to say about this game. So let's kick it over to you, man.
I don't know what it is, but as bad as this Utah Jazz team is, even coming off of a 5-game win streak, the way that they play, the way that they score, especially on the offensive end, they don't play like a losing franchise. Very often you can catch them scoring. Just name a few. Timberwolves playoff contender. They won 117 to 116. Detroit, they lost 106. Washington lost 125 to 122. But the gist is that they tend to keep these games close. They typically play up to the competition outside of one outlier with Sacramento. So I can really see them scoring over 106. So they've been able to score at least 107 points in 17 out of their last 19 games. Even when they played the Lakers twice this year, they scored 113 in the loss and they scored 131 in the win. And that was just in February. So I definitely can see this Jazz team getting over that 106.5 mark.
Okay. So, all right.
I look at it from a rotational standpoint, like the teams they're playing against. The thing that makes Boston so deadly is that they don't have to switch, right? That's how their defense operates. They have arguably the biggest wings in the league in Jaylen Brown and Tatum. So like if one of them guys sits, then yes, I ride this all the way. But like that's the big deal about Boston. Their defense is 1 through 5 can guard 1 through 5, or 1 through 4 can guard 1 through 4. So they don't have to switch. So they don't have that delay. So like typically, if you're going to beat the Celtics, you're going to do it by shooting, right?
Mm.
And the Jazz they got some rookies now. Keontae George, he's not afraid to let it loose. He will get you 20 points. He will have like 15 attempts. But Kyle inside the middle, he's going to have his hands full. And that's pretty much where a lot of Utah's points come from. I'm just a little nervous on 107. I'm not going to talk you against it, though, because it's a sharp line. I see it possibly hidden, but to me personally, I love the Celtics. So it's one of my favorite teams that I watch, and they come out fired in the first half. So the Celtics at home raining threes from anybody, like that's pretty much their whole lineup. So I'm gonna ride with Lucky because the thought process is it's easier for me to see the Celtics trying to get a blowout win so they can sit the fourth quarter so that they can look ahead to the next game on the schedule, right? But in order to do that, you got to come out firing in the first half to try to put the knife in them, right? So I really like the Celtics first half team total over 61. But I mean, the Jazz do keep it close, like because they're rookie. So to even help your argument, like let's say it is a blowout, the Jazz aren't going to pull their starters.
Nope.
Because their whole thing is they need minutes. They need the experience. So they will have their starters versus the Celtics backups, who aren't as good defensively. So I do see that happening. But it's easy for me to see like a 130 to 110 type game.
Yeah, I can see
that. It's still casual, so
because we're actually liking the Celtics first half team total over. Spread is liking the full game Jazz team total over. So I'm trying to look and see. We got the first half total at 112.5. So that means so if we like that means we would need the Jazz to get 51 in the first half to get.
That's cool.
They can do that.
Hang on, where are we at? I'm looking to see what they average here.
Yeah, like
They average 54.8 points in the first half. Last 3 games, they averaged 53. Um,
does it
this
what you're looking at? Does it do 10? Because I'm interested to see what they did against Minnesota because they had the Wizards actually been playing defense lately, but the 76ers and the Pelicans they not playing defense.
well, that's what I was about to ask. Do we think the Celtics in the first half are gonna clamp down and try to make it that type of game?
No, I think the Celtics just try to outscore them. Like it'll be like threes, it'll be raining threes, and then the Jazz will be like trying to keep the game close. Because the Jazz are a very good backdoor cover team. So like this spread is at 17, and I could see them covering it like in the last 2 minutes of the game because the Celtics just don't care anymore. The Jazz are very good at backdoor covering. So
what do y'all like more? Do you like a Celtics first half team like total over, or do you like the first half over?
Toss up. I would really have to vote it as a toss up. I can see either one happen. I mean, the Jazz just have to score 50 points. So the game total, honestly, I just picked the one with the better odds. I'm not looking at them directly right now, but I could definitely see either one coming to pass.
I'm a little nervous because the Jazz just played yesterday. So they off the back-to-back. They traveling to Boston. This is the fourth game on the road.
I'm actually going to keep this the way I was initially going. I am going to lock in the Celtics first half team total.
I can see the Celtics too, but I also like we know they spent all last week preparing for the Lakers. So I can see this kind of as a letdown spot. Like they're just not going to get up the same way that they did for the game on Saturday.
That's true. I buy that.
Like the coach has to get up. All right, guys, it's time to play the Jazz. I want to see the same intensity that you gave the Lakers, or the players are going to be like.
I mean, but the Celtics got to be feeling themselves too, because the Lakers were so-called the talk of the town, and you just embarrassed them. So I mean, this is the definition of a letdown spot, but it's the fact that the game is in Boston, and they not traveling to Utah.
And I think the Celtics play pretty well at home. Like they defend home pretty ferociously too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all about lucky. The lucky charm on the half court. That's the Celtic name, by the way. They call them Lucky. So it's too many weapons on. I know that the Celtics are gonna score. Like it's too many weapons for them not to, right? Like
but with the over movement, it just screams high scoring game for no reason. Like with the way that the line is moving, I could definitely see both teams at least having a competitive offensive game and the Celtics winning by probably 8 or 9. I don't know if they cover, but I could definitely see the Celtics winning by just under double digits.
To me here, why I ultimately decided to go the route that I did is that I know, like as far as Celtics, I know what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Where with the Jazz, you don't always know that. So that's why ultimately I decided to stick with just their first half team total over. But like I said, like that's just me, and actually that's just why I decided just to stick with what I know more. Let's move over. Do I?
Can't say I blame you.
Let's move over here to a game that I'm liking quite a bit. Suns are playing the Grizzlies. Grizzlies opened up as a 5.5 point favorite. That's down to 4 now. Total opened up at 241.5. That's moved up to looks like 244.5 at most places. I definitely agree with that move up. I am on the over. This actually is a client play. We actually locked this in at over 243.5 at actually minus 108. So as far as the number there, we definitely got a good one. This one to me is that total. I know to a lot of people looks high, but as far as Grizzlies totals go, it's really not, especially playing somebody like the Suns, where defense, we keep saying where the Suns defense, we're like trying to fade. Um, thing is, Grizzlies games, the past few have actually all gone under. The last three have, and they've gone like comfortably under too, like not just barely under. So I think that's why we're actually getting a little bit of a better line here. Because this is one of those games where I would think you would normally see it in like the 248 to actually like 249 range. Um, and then you have this Suns team, like actually like we just talked about, and you're trying to fade their actual defense. And if you're just looking, the Suns are actually trending over currently. They are 7-3 to the over their last 10, but on the road for the whole season to the over, this team is 22 wins, 11 losses. This team on the road, these games just go over. Um, we all like know what the Grizzlies at home really want to like do, and that's go with pace. The Suns are going to be willing to actually do that. To me, this was one that just everything just kind of pointed over. Besides the fact that Memphis has been playing in those lower scoring games, but that's why I said that's why we're getting the actual discount here. So I am happy to actually jump in here. Joe, do you have anything here?
I like the Memphis side more. However,
Okay.
just playing devil's advocate, right? Before I give out a pick, I try to look at why that line is where it is and what could possibly go wrong. Memphis has won 3 out of the last 3 head up. It's really hard to sweep a team in the NBA. I get it, but I just think Memphis is the overall better team, even without Jared Jackson Jr. and without Luke Kennard. Now that worries me a little bit. And Ja has a banged up shoulder, right? And Zach Edey is still a game time decision. I'm still running with the Memphis Grizzlies because I like fading heavy trends. One of the heavy trends was Memphis hasn't covered a home game since the All-Star break or whatever. Well, they covered against Dallas in like less in the
That
last
was,
minute. They went on
that
like
was
a 10-0 run.
yeah.
Um, so I think just Memphis, they play a very close game the whole game. And then at the end of the game, the last 3 minutes, they pull apart because they're that team. Ja seems to always show up when it counts. And I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
riding that, man, because one, the Suns are without Bradley Beal, who's key. Two, the Suns just don't look together. Like they don't like each other. It's clear. Like you can see it if you watch the game. So give me a Memphis team that's willing to ride or die with each other versus a team that's dysfunction. In my opinion, the lesser of the two coaches. And I just like Memphis, man. I mean, last time them two played, they almost put up 300 points. Like the
Yeah.
score was like what 151 to 148. That was
48.
like
Yeah.
an all-star game. It was a track meet, man. They were just running back and forth. And in the end, the Grizzlies pulled out ahead. So, I mean, give me the Grizzlies, but I will buy the hook. This is one time where I just don't trust that 4.5. I'll just take 4. That way I can push. But yeah. So Grizzlies -4 is probably where I like.
All right. Mr. Spread Gladiator, what do you think?
The best play is no play sometimes. So I don't have a play on the overall game just because I don't know what Suns team is gonna show up. Don't know what version of Ja we're gonna get. It's just too many question marks for me to make a solid play. The only thing I could get out of this game was I like a player prop of Bol over 12.5 PRA. It's probably gonna get bumped, but I like his over 12.5 PRA. One, because Bradley Beal is out. He's over on the last 6 out of 6 games without Bradley Beal, and Memphis allows the 5th most points, rebounds, and assists to power forwards. Over his last 5 games, he's had 27, 34, 19, 22, and 30. So 12.5 is a very doable PRA for Bol.
I
Like it.
I also have a player prop in this one. Nick Richards over 10.5 points. He's the center for Phoenix. Lately, he's been having 7.1 field goal attempts. He scores inside the paint. With Zach Edey being a game time decision, even if he does go, he's not gonna be 100%. Last time we just rolled Nick Richards, dude cashed in the first half so easily. So you gotta look goodwill with me, man. Memphis is also 23rd most points allowed to the center position. So even if Zach Edey goes, they still allow points inside the paint, which is the only place Richard shoots. Like he doesn't really shoot. He's more of a I'm finna dunk it to get the two type guy. So I just like watching him, and I'll ride his 10.5 easily.
Like it. Chat. Once again, if there's any certain games you would like us to go over, drop them in the chat because we will not be going over every single game here. So yeah, if there's any certain game you want us or you want to see us go over, definitely drop it in the chat. Let's go to the Magic and the Rockets game. This line opened Houston actually -4. Total is 213. Lines really haven't moved a lot here. The Rockets are now a 4.5-point favorite. The total is 211.5 now. So it's ticked down just a little bit. This Magic team, I've talked about it. It was a couple weeks before the All-Star break. I said I can't get a read on this team. I'm not gonna bet their games, and I still haven't been. And what I always talked about was betting them at home. They've always just seemed to be a good home team. Well, the last homestand they had, they were not. They were losing. They actually didn't cover any spreads. Then their first game out on the road was versus the Bucks, and they went out and beat them. So yeah, still this Magic team, I still don't have a read on, but I'm gonna go over to Joe because we all know that Houston is Joe's home team. So let's actually see if Joe has a read here.
I'm laying the 4.5 with the Rockets. Just to put that on out there. I usually don't bet the Rockets because they're a home team, but this is a spot. The Orlando Magic, one reason why it's very hard to get a read on them is because the injuries. So their starting lineup consistently changes. If it's not if Paulo doesn't go off or Franz Wagner doesn't go off, you pretty much beat Orlando. It's that simple. Jalen Suggs is out for the whole season. That dude is a dog. So there's not really the magic threat that you would usually have. The Rockets, they line up better. They're better coached. They're deeper. I just give me the Rockets -4.5. The Rockets are also 3-2 against the spread, and the Magic are 1-4 in the last 5. So the Rockets are healthier, deeper, younger, and my team just it's a missed class. This line should be more towards 7.5, 8 easily. Okay. So I'm laying 4.5 easy.
All right, Mr. Spread Gladiator.
There are just other games on the slate that I like a little bit more than this Rockets and Magic team. I've tried to. Nothing here. I like the Rockets in this game. If I had to have a lean, it'd be somewhere on the Rockets, but I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna reach.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I will just follow Joe here. But yeah, I have.
What's insane is that the Rockets take turn and who's going off. Would you believe that if I told you Dylan Brooks had 34 points, rebounds, and assists last game? Dylan Brooks, the defender, he's been scoring lately. His PRAs are at 18.5, and it took everything in me not to touch it. But because I'm laying the 4.5 with the Rockets, because I don't know if it's going to be Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith, his splits at home are insane. Mm-hmm. So you don't know who's going to go off. You just know that somebody's going to do it. So I'm laying a 4.5 with the Rockets. let's not get cute. That's how I see it. So,
All right. Well, guys, let's go over to this Denver and OKC game. This is a game where I was excited to bet, but now I'm not. Um, these two teams just played last night. Thunder won 127 to 103. Uh, Thunder are just winning and covering games, and it doesn't matter who even their starting five is, because they just played the damn actually Trailblazers. They had nobody in, and still beat them and then covered. I mean, this Thunder team is a team I'm not looking to bet against. Tonight was one of those spots I was though, because the Nuggets. I actually brought the same spot up last week. Nuggets second night of an actual back-to-back where they lost the first game. They are great. Like, this is a spot that they are so good in. And as far as the Thunder, I believe they've only been in one spot like this year, and that was versus the Timberwolves. And actually, they lost that game outright. So that's why this was going to be a Nuggets spot. But yeah, you actually have Aaron Gordon, who has actually already been ruled out. And then I'm not even sure if actually Joker's going to play.
That made me feel even better about my pick.
And, because I believe he actually hurt his elbow, I think it was actually last night.
But he's been in and out of the lineup. So he's trying to fight through whatever the hell it is. But he just keep going in and out. Like, that's not a good thing with the playoffs around the corner.
No. So that, for me, this was one of those, like, this was a situational spot that I absolutely loved. It's one of those that I've talked about before, and this one fell into it just right. It hit on both sides of actually where I wanted. As far as the Thunder, I was looking to actually fade them. Then the Nuggets, I was looking to back them. But if they don't have don't have those guys in there, I just can't do it. I cannot bet against this Thunder team. So for me, I'm just gonna stay away, guys. Do either actually one of y'all have a strong read here? All right, Joe, go on.
Man, listen, 9.5, 12.5. It don't damn matter. Lay it. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. This Thunder team is better. There's levels to it. What I saw when I watched that game, I made it a point to watch that game. I love looking at body language, right? It tells you what the reporters want. The Nuggets are defeated mentally because they gave it everything they had and it just wasn't enough. Like Jamal Murray, this dude is a damn all-star. He could be top 75 if he actually tried, but this dude, he'd rather be at a UFC fight than show up with the team. Bro, he is dysfunction. They don't show up all four quarters. What are the Thunder going to do? They're going to show up all four quarters. It don't matter who's playing. I'm going to be the first to say it because a lot of people don't want to jump off the ledge, but I will. The Thunder are just better than the Nuggets, and it's a fact at this point. Like, SGA can go off and give you a triple-double. But then we didn't even talk about Jalen Williams and how he had, 43 PRA or something like that? Like, Jalen Williams has been playing excellent, and it's overshadowed because you're looking at SGA versus Joker. Lou Dort, the dude, he averages like 6 or 7 points a game. He hit 2 clutch threes like toward late in the game. The Thunder are the better team. I think they're at home again, and they know that they're better. They're consistently being disrespected, and people are still talking about Jokic lost the game, but he still walked away with the game highlights because they're saying, oh, we never saw a 30-20-20 triple-double before. So they're still praising Denver, and OKC just beat the brakes off of them. Like, yes, that score, the game was a lot closer than the final score, but that's because Denver checked out the last 5 minutes of the game. Like, that's a long time to check out. Like, OKC is going to give you everything they have all 4 quarters. I'll lay 10. And I do not normally lay double-digit spreads, but I'll lay 10 today. Because people people are living in the past about this Denver team, and we're not talking about today. This Denver team today is not the one of last year. The one of last year, they would have showed up when it counted. Like, if it was a big game, you knew they were going to show up. Yeah, they'll drop a game to the Trailblazers or the Hornets or something like that. But in a big game, they always show up. This Denver team did not show up. And guess what? They know it. They know that the Thunder are better. I'm laying 10 with the Thunder. I'm really confident.
All right.
I really had like the pick here until I got the news on the Jokic elbow. That changes things tremendously because usually the Nuggets are my go-to team on a back-to-back, especially when they lose. Does not matter who they lose to. They typically come back with a vengeance. Joker, especially when he has a terrible showing on the first night of the back-to-back, that second night he usually thrives. But with the news that he potentially won't play at all this game, it kind of changes my viewpoint on the game as a whole. Another thing is you have to get into is they're not. I don't expect it. I do expect the trend of the Nuggets team not showing up for all 4 quarters to continue. But what I expect to happen is they'll probably put their best foot forward in the first half. Like I do expect OKC to really run away with it once they're mentally broken again in the third or fourth quarter. But until that point, I could definitely see the Nuggets covering 8 in the first half. That was my original play that I was heavily backed, but now I have to downgrade it to a lean just with the Joker injury news. But I still feel like this Nuggets team can keep it close going into halftime. I do expect the Thunder to run away because they're not going to hold together for 4 quarters. But about half of that, I can see them trying to hold it together just because to try to save face. Like they know that they're a playoff contender. And if you can't, they understand if you can't compete with the Thunder, then you won't be mentioned in the championship conversation. So just to keep public trend from swaying too far in the Thunder's advantage, I can see them trying their best in the first half and covering 7.5 first half.
So are we going to ignore the dysfunction in the Nuggets locker room? Because Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have yet to show up to the same game. One of them will drop 40, the other will drop 8. The next game, Michael Porter Jr. dropped 20-something, Jamal Murray will drop 12. Like they don't show up when it counts. The 3 people
I don't know what it is.
The 3 people you know that are going to show up are Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic, and Christian Brown. Outside of that, the rest of the roster is like, what the hell is going to happen? Because if Jokic ever sits down, OKC is going to run a damn train, and you know it's going to happen. And need I say, I'm going to say what nobody else will. I think Jokic is not going to play today because he's ducking the smoke so he can get the MVP. I'm going to say it. The reason why I say that, I don't think it's Jokic thinking that. I think it's his coach and his front office that's going to sit him so that they can rest, so they can have an MVP even if they don't win the West, because they all know that the Thunder are better. And if you have Jokic go out and play against SGA and SGA and the Thunder smoke them by 20 2 games in a row, that's going to look very bad for that Jokic MVP case. I mean, if you know you're not going to win the season, it helps to have the MVP so that you can keep selling tickets. So I think they sit him. I mean, I know Jokic is just ducking the smoke. It's the coach and the front office, in my opinion. I think they sit him, and I think OKC run away with it. And then you could blame this loss on the fact that he didn't play, and it helps his MVP case.
I mean, that makes sense.
From a team standpoint, it makes no sense to even put Jokic in this position. But because if you don't sit him, he's going to come out and try his hardest. Instead of focusing on getting healthy, he's going to try to at least save face and do whatever it takes for the team to win. And it's just not the time for that. It is a terrible time to try to have Jokic come out and try to get a measly win in the win column when it's a good time to rest and really focus on playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, you should be focusing on getting healthy. I mean, you know you can't beat them, so you might as well go to the playoffs healthy That way, if you do see him later on, you stand a better chance at winning. You could say it's the long game, but I mean, today, no, I'm laying 10. I'm not even thinking twice about it. And I rarely lay double-digit spreads, but I'm laying it today.
True. All right, chat. We're about to move over to the Knicks and the Kings game. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, drop them in the chat. I have yet to have a college basketball question yet. There are hundreds of actually y'all here. So I know somebody has to have a question, y'all.
Hey, talk to us.
Yeah. What?
Say talk to us. We talk back.
So yeah, we're gonna move over here to the Knicks and the Kings game. The Kings, they actually opened the favorite here. Knicks are now a 2 or 2.5 point favorite. They actually had gotten up to 3. Money starting to come in on the Kings here some. As far as the total, it opened up at 226.5. It actually has moved down. It's down to 222.5. That to me makes a lot of sense. This is as far as a scheduling spot, this is a great one for the Knicks. And that's why this line is actually where it is here. What is this for the Kings? This is their third game in 4 nights.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah. And actually, then they played OT last night, right?
Yep, they lost an OT by a buzzer, a Kawhi, whatever the hell that was. It wasn't a hook shot. It wasn't a floater. It was a little bit of both.
Yeah. Basically, you got 2 teams doing 2 totally different things here. The Kings have just been covering spreads. They've been on a nice little streak here. Then the Knicks, they still haven't been. They're in their last 10, they're actually 1-9. And now with actually Brunson out, we're still waiting to see them cover a spread, and we're still waiting to see them win a game. And that's what makes me nervous here, because yes, this is a Knicks spot. I mean, it's a very clear-cut Knicks spot, but we haven't seen them do it yet. And I'm big, if y'all have watched this show for any amount of time, before I can start backing it, I gotta see it. And I haven't seen it. Now, with saying that, I'm not rushing to bet the Kings here either, because it is really not a good spot for them. But, man, that Kings first half, it definitely has me thinking. Joe, do you have anything here?
If anything, the Kings just got deflated because they were 6.5 point underdogs. They did their thing last night. They should have walked away with that win. But that damn Kawhi Leonard, man, first it was the James Harden bait you for a foul and take it to overtime. Then Kawhi Leonard with the push hook, whatever the hell it was, it went in. It bounced off the rim twice. It was, I guess, the dude living right, like the old folks say. So with that on their mind, I'm thinking they're coming to make an example out of the Knicks. I like the first half angle a lot because even in those tired legs, the third, fourth quarter, they can mentally push through for the first half, right? Then they're also playing the Knicks, so it's kind of like a revenge spot against a team that doesn't really. The Knicks have beat them like the last 4 times they played, right? All right. But the Knicks don't really show up against teams above 500. They beat up on the really bad teams, but the good teams, the solid playoff teams, they don't really show up. The other thing is Malik Monk, this is his first game back, so he should have fresh legs. He can facilitate. He can get his own shot. So not having Sabonis, yeah, that hurts. But Jonas Valanciunas is not a bum by any stretch of the means. So, I mean, you're moving one big guy out to put another one in. And I think this Jalen Brunson blow was a blow to the Knicks. Like, they really have to figure out their whole offense because he did everything. He was a facilitator. He could score late in the game, get his own shot. He literally did everything. And now they're having to figure it out. But I mean, is this new? Like Thibodeau, he runs his starters 40 damn minutes a game all season, even if they're blown out. Like they were down to the Celtics by 20 something points. He kept the starters in. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna win this game. Sit them. Let them get that 3 minutes of legs. It matters over the aggregate of the schedule, right? Those minutes, it adds up. And it's hard to stay healthy. So you're gonna continue to see Knicks fall from injury. And I mean, if you limp into the playoffs, what good is it making it to the playoffs if you're not there all the way? Mitchell Robinson, he's been looking a little better, but man, give me the Kings on the first half. Long story short, Kings on the first half. I wouldn't be surprised to see full game. I'm looking at the money line because I just like plus money plays. Because 2.5, shit, you might as well win outright at that point. So, give me the Kings in a get right spot.
So I got a question. I know that they take turns with DeMar and Zach taking the scoring load. Who was it last game?
So lately, the last couple games, I think they're starting to get their roles defined. DeMar is the more of the ball control because DeMar and Levine have a relationship already. So Levine focuses on scoring, whereas DeMar focuses on handling the offense. Malik Monk, I rolled his +8 assists to the wheels fell off. But he makes some passes where you're like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Like, that's just out of control. Like, this is not a video game. This is real life. But DeMar is just a much smarter ball handler, in my opinion. And he can live off the mid-range. So it makes the offense that much more potent because you can't just drop off of DeMar like you could a Monk, right? Like Monk, if you step back, if you give him space, he's going to jack that 3 up. Whereas DeMar, he's focusing on getting to the mid-range. And then you open up and find a better, wide open 3-point shot. So instead of a 3-point shot off the dribble, you get a 3-point stop where it's catch and shoot, which is much more efficient. It does matter in the long run. So this Kings team, they've been covering. So if they've covered 6 out of the last 6, I don't see why they can't beat the Knicks on the money line. I really don't. So I think I'm leaning towards the money line full game, but I'm also leaning towards the first half as well.
Well, Joe, I know in the past you've always talked to me about how the Kings in the first quarter, they come out strong.
Yeah.
You can get their first quarter money line at actually +105. Or you can get the first half, you can get the money line there at actually +115.
Give me the first half.
You like first half?
Yeah.
I'll take the game.
I mean, what's the game? I like first half and game. I can really be taught that in all 3 of those, honestly.
The money line is +125.
That's some value. I really like that value.
I'm gonna take the first half first, and then when that cashes, I'll think about laying the points. I'll think about laying up to 2 to 3 points for the full game. Like, I'm really ready to double down on it like that. Like,
I do expect a good game from either Josh Hart or
because hear me out. If you lose the first half, right? And I know I don't recommend chasing losses, but if they lose the first half and you don't get that +115, they'll be getting more points than 3. And then you can take the points and get the full game.
I definitely just actually like them early. I might actually split my stake between the first quarter and the first half. Actually play both here.
Because I pretty much know they're gonna win that first quarter just because of how they lost the other day. So
that's how I'm leaning there. All right, now I'm going to open the floor to actually y'all. I know there's quite a few games we did not go over. I know I don't personally have anything in these other games. Spread and Joe, are there any other games y'all would like to bring up?
You got anything?
It's a nasty one. That's why I don't like it. I got the wrong wing. Take the Dallas Mavericks plus the 7 against the Spurs. As if PJ Washington plays today. Because the Dallas Mavericks have exceeded expectations. Najee Marshall and Brandon Williams, those two, they're not offering their prop lines for a reason. They're breaking their season average every time they play. They're looking better and better and better. And Lord forbid, Clay looks super washed 1 second, but then he looks like the Golden State Clay in another. So like, and I mean, hell, there's nobody left to shoot. This is Clay's dream. But I like Brandon Williams or Najee Marshall to go well over their point lines today. So,
all right.
This one is not going to be popular. This play that I'm going to mention is a lot against a lot of you all's favorite team. But I really like the Portland Trailblazers to be able to cover 12.5. Do I see them winning at Golden State? Probably not. But I don't see them losing by 13. And because if you've been paying attention to this Portland team, they are actually pretty tough. A lot of their losses are close. Like they just lost to Cleveland 133 to 129. They lost to Detroit 119 to 112. Lakers, they lost by like 8. So I feel like 12.5 is a little bit mispriced. This line should be somewhere between 7.5 and 8.5. Then I would switch to the Golden State Warriors. But because it's at 12.5, I can definitely see Portland covering it as a team.
Okay.
I rode the Portland Trail Blazers to the ground. They made me a lot of money this year. I'm just really nervous we out without DeAndre Ayton. But I do agree with you. Anthony Simmons, he's solid. Scoot Henderson, I'm a fan. But yeah, I'm just gonna wish you luck with this one. Because there's no way I'm gonna have to go to State. But I'm nervous because Steph is triggered right now. So Steph is due for one of those 30, 40-point games, and he's done by the third quarter. Because of Isaiah Stewart last week, or was that, yeah, last week, Steph Curry got a tech, which is very rare because a bench warmer came up and poked the bear. So he came up and put his hands on Steph. And Steph, since that moment, he just – yeah, he went Super Saiyan. So like a Super Saiyan amplified pissed off Steph, I'm not touching that. Like, I'm not betting against that dude, man. Like, cause this just got 7 for 10 from 3-point land written all on it to me. Like I just I'm a root for you, dude.
It just so happens to be the Portland that came up next after having the bear poke. I understand that.
Like all other things considered, if that would not have happened and Steph wouldn't have got a tech, and then Draymond later on went online and said, yeah, Steph Curry need to get more techs. Like, bro, that's your job. You are the tech getter for Golden State. Like, if Golden State gets a tech, we expect it to be Draymond Green or Steve Kerr because y'all do nothing else. That's y'all job. Steph Curry getting a tech is like him? Nah, Steph the most chill dude. Steph is probably the most chill dude in the NBA. Like 0 to 1,000. Like, but when he got his hands pushed on him and he took the mouthpiece out, was just chewing on it like, who are you? Isaiah Stewart averages a whopping 6 points per game. You're coming off the bench. And you came off the bench and put your hands on a man. That first off, who are you? You're not Cade. You're not Jalen Duren. You're not Malik Beasley. Like, bro, you are literally 2 steps away from being the damn water boy. And you put your hands on Steph Curry.
It's a quick way to get a 5-year exit off you can take years off your career like that. You really can.
Well, guys, as far as this game here, it's not one that I'm going to be betting. But if I had to, I actually would be on the Golden State side. They're a team I'm not looking to go against currently. They're in a good flow. They're playing very well.
Yeah.
And they're just not a team that I want to go against. And there are levels to this, and the Trailblazers are nowhere near where Golden State is playing currently.
The injured Trailblazers.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with you.
So that's why, to me,
Jimmy Grant and DeAndre Ayton, they can do some damage, but both of them are out. So it's like you're injured going against the Bear. Like, bro, you're not.
Yeah. So that's why, to me, yeah, the number's about right. Like I said, I actually don't see any value in really playing it, but I would have to lean Golden State. But, guys, we have been on for almost a whole hour. So I say it's time for us to find a play of the day. And I'm not sure it's going to be that simple. I think we're kind of all across the board here, all kind of liking different things here. So does somebody want to nominate?
All right, how about this? I'll throw out my top 3 that I wouldn't mind riding with y'all. And then y'all, I guess we could take our turns throwing out our top 3. And then if any of them get the most votes, y'all want to do it that way?
Sure. Go on.
All right. First off, give me the Celtics team total first half over 60, 61. I think that's numero uno. Number 2 would be the Rockets minus 4.5. And then 3 would be OKC minus 9.5.
My 3 are gonna be that Kings first half money line, the Celtics first half team total over, and then the Suns and Grizzlies full game over. Spread. What are yours, man?
Mine would have to be, I really like the Lakers first half. I really like the Lakers first half at minus 3.5. I like the Rockets minus 4.5. Just to kind of play devil's advocate, I'm still gonna stick with my 12.5 Trailblazers pick and the 112.5 Jazz team total. This just seems like a spot where they're gonna throw their buzz punch and come up short, but I can definitely see the Jazz kind of hanging in there.
So Celtics first, the full game first half over.
Hold on, it might be the first. No, just the first half, because I can see this game because it has blowout potential. I'm only going to go with the Celtics in the first half. So their first half team game total. The first half game total for Boston versus Utah is 112.5, and that's my favorite play in the game, to put it in a nutshell. Because I know someone mentioned that the Celtics team total was somewhere in the 60 range. That means Utah only has to score about 50 points.
So you thinking 112? That's the Celtics and Jazz?
Yes. And the line movement says that the over is going up, so the books kind of agree.
We can roll with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, guys, there it is. Play of the day. Jazz Celtics first half over 112.5. That's what we're going to be riding with for the play of the day. And yeah, do y'all have anything else here? And if not, we're gonna head on out.
Oh.
All right. Well, Spread, tell them actually like where to find you.
I am the spread gladiator, the originator of the arena play or decree play. If you ever have a caper you want to put up against one of my plays, let me know and you can watch. And I can send you to bed crying that night. If there's any caper you want to put against me besides these two guys on the screen, but outside of that, I am the spread gladiator. Divide and conquer.
All right. You can find me at Twitter, lay off the juice, or in the MoneyBall metrics, free Discord, the general chat. I drop 2 parlays typically a day. Hit a really nice one this past weekend. Hit a couple of them actually. So just jump in, man.
Yep. You guys know you can find me at Line Movers LLC or at Moneyball Metrics. Yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all for being on. This was definitely a good show. Play of the day, once again, is Jazz Celtics first half over 112.5. Yeah, great show, guys. Joe, if you want to take us out.
Another one in the books. Like my boy DJ Khaled said, you either win with us or watch us win. Either way, let's win, baby.
Let's fucking win, guys.